Welcome to Talking Point with Stephen Taylor. It's good to have you along, and today joined by a man who needs no introduction, man. Derek Watts, how are you, sir?
Stephen, good, and good to be here. Thanks very much for inviting me.
Not under investigation, am I?
Well, you never know with carte blanche.
I know!
Where's my phone?
Should I run now?
My recording watch.
Yes. It's good to have you here, man. But people, when you walk in the room, must think it's very intimidating when you walk in. Have you had some interesting experiences with that?
Only if people have got guilty consciences.
Yes.
No, I do, Steve. No, I don't have a guilty conscience, but yeah. So if you take your car for a service, you can see people watching you very carefully.
Oh, really?
And they're all buzzing around, and you just want to leave your car and go.
Yeah.
But they say, no, can you hold on, please? And then they search through the car.
Wow.
And then they'll come up to you with a little plastic bag with a ront in it, and they'll think that was a trap that I left that there for to be found.
My goodness.
No. But generally, no, I don't think people are very suspicious, but we did things on restaurants.
Yeah. So when you go out to eat, people are skeptical.
We did thing on fish, that some of the fish was not quite as advertised. So people are suspicious. But I think these days probably more terrified of Devi, although she only flies in at about 5 foot.
Yeah.
But she's great. She takes them at the ankles, and it's a great team, all right.
So
the
I
whole
don't think
team.
Derek Watts, we know the name, we know the person, we see the face on TV, carte blanche. Who is Derek Watts? Where were you born? Where did you grow up? I mean, you went to school like us normal people, right?
Like us normal people. Fairly normal. Yeah, I grew up in Bulawayo, went to school in Bulawayo. I was a shocking scholar.
Really?
Terrible.
You hated school?
I didn't like school, but I wasn't even a bad guy. I wasn't even like a bully.
Oh, okay.
So nothing. I think I had nafi.
Oh, wow.
No ambition, and what the rest is, no interest.
But did your mind wander back then? Were you thinking about things? Is that why?
I wanted to get out of Bulawayo. I wanted to see the world, but that was really what I wanted to do. But I just couldn't get down to work. And I hold the record, I think. In fact, I know, because I did the equivalent of matric there, which is O-level.
Oh, wow.
And then you get an option to do M-level, which gets you into university, or A-level. So I did fairly well in O-level. I don't know why, because I suddenly put my head down and worked. And they said, no, he's a latent genius. He must do A-level.
Yeah.
And no kidding, it took me 3 years to get one subject at the lowest level.
Wow.
So an F in physics after 3 years, and I'm claiming that as a record.
That is a record, yeah. So where did your love for broadcasting and the love for the industry, where did that come about? Where did you get an idea back in the day that you wanted to do this? Was it something that you were thinking about when you were younger?
Not really, to be honest.
Really? What did you think that you would be? If you weren't doing carte blanche, Derek Watts, what would you be? Would we see you at McDonald's in the drive-thru or Burger King?
Steve, there are things that happen in life which you don't prepare for and which change your life. So maybe meeting somebody, reading a book, seeing a movie, tripping over a cat, something that changes your life. And I must admit, the army changed me, because I went from being this, I think you called it a slapgat if it's not too rude, to going into the army and being bullied by all these sergeant majors and screamed at, and I thought, this is not going to happen for me. I'm not going to last.
2 years, right?
Sorry?
2 years.
Yeah. So what happened is they announced that there was going to be an officer selection course. And my little ears pricked up, and I thought, this is escape, because you escape from there and suddenly you get a menu, and you get wonderful accommodation, and don't just live in a tent. So I just went for it. I was giving speeches, I was leading guys over obstacle courses, and I made the officers course out of about 200 guys. So only 13 of us have made it to the course, and then 3 became officers, and I worked for it. Okay.
So what was your title? What was your...
Started off as a second lieutenant.
Okay.
Ended up eventually as an acting major.
Oh, wow.
Company commander.
Wow.
But I worked for it. It's the first time in my life that I really just gave it everything. And I don't want to be too dramatic, but the marches, the final exercises when literally there was blood in my boots. I was pouring blood out of my boots.
Wow.
Sounds very dramatic, but
It
it's
is,
true.
yeah.
We should make a movie about it.
Yes,
no, but I
we
mean,
should.
the course officer came across. He said, "Look, do you want to go back?" And I continued, because if you go back, that's the end of the road.
Yeah.
Anyway, long story, but I think that changed my life. And you asked a very simple question, getting such a complicated answer. Hey?
Yeah, I know. Wow.
Okay, but
I
I
like
won't
that.
make it
But I
too
like
long.
that.
So Army, okay.
Yeah.
Then I went and was a computer operator in Joburg on an ICL system for computer,
Oh,
which
wow.
is the size of this building. And it did virtually
The computer
nothing.
was the size of the building.
Yeah. And
Back
it
in the
did
day,
nothing.
right?
Back in the day, as my kids
And
says,
now
back in the day.
And now a computer
I
can be this
promise
small,
you,
eh?
that phone of mine over there is probably 1,000 times more powerful. This thing just did payroll and stock control. But there I was as a computer operator, and I thought, this is it. This is the cutting edge.
Wow.
Went from there to selling copying machines for a company called Rank Xerox.
As you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was then like the Rolls Royce of copying
Yes,
machines, plain
yes.
paper we used to
Yes.
boast. And then I went to London, sold more copying machines. And then I sold systems in London, so I was back in computers, selling computer
So
systems.
this is the real Derek Watson, right?
Yeah.
Was it a carbon copy?
Yeah, no, not one of those chemical copies.
Yes, yeah.
Plain paper.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so then I came back to South Africa from London after a couple of years and was selling plastic bottles for a company called Exactix, very nice plastic bottles.
They're still around?
They are. I think the
Okay.
name's changed a little bit, but they're the big company. They're making for all the big fruit drink manufacturers,
Oh, nice.
Sleek,
Okay.
all those people. Now, what happened? Which is the question, hey? Okay, so...
Okay, let's take a break. We'll get to that in a moment. It's Talking Point with Stephen Taylor. We are in conversation with the legend himself, Ron Burgundy, a.k.a. Derek Watts. We'll be back next.